I've decided to start a new life without you." The words hung in the air of the upscale restaurant where we had gathered to celebrate my daughter's college graduation. Gregory, my husband of 28 years, stood frozen, his champagne glass still raised. He was supposed to be making a toast to Amelia's achievements, but instead, he announced his departure. Conversations ceased. 50 pairs of eyes locked between us, waiting for my reaction. They expected tears, shouting, or a dramatic exit. But I smiled. "Congratulations on your honesty. My name is Bianca Caldwell. I am 54 years old. Until this moment, I had been the devoted wife and mother, perfectly playing my role. I put my career on hold to support Gregory through his 3 business ventures, 2 career changes, and countless phases of self-discovery. I raised Amelia, our brilliant daughter, who sat beside me, her graduation cap still perched, her face pale and shocked. From the corner of my eye, I spotted Cassandra Wells, Gregory's much younger girlfriend, sitting awkwardly at the back table with friends I once trusted. The same friends who knew of the affair but never told me. The same Cassandra who once called me for career advice and joined our Christmas gatherings. With practiced calm, I reached into my handbag and retrieved a sealed cream-colored envelope. I placed it beside Gregory's plate. "What's this?" he asked, his triumphant smile faltering. "Something for you to read later," I said, steady and calm. I turned to Amelia and kissed her cheek. "I'm so proud of you, sweetheart. This day is yours." Then, smoothing my dress, I addressed the stunned guests. "Please enjoy your meal and have a lovely afternoon." I walked out of the restaurant, head held high, feeling their eyes following me as the heavy door swung closed. The summer heat hit me like a wall, but for the first time in years I could breathe freely. Behind me, the door opened again and slammed shut. Gregory's voice was frantic, no longer confident. "Bianca, what have you done?" I smiled to myself. The envelope I'd given him was the beginning of my carefully planned revenge. I had always been the practical one in our marriage. While Gregory chased wild dreams and failed ventures, I was the steady hand that saved for Amelia's education when he invested foolishly. I worked extra hours as a finance manager when his midlife crisis led him to quit stable jobs to chase fleeting passions. My own dream of opening a financial consultancy for women was continuously put on hold. But when I noticed discrepancies in our joint accounts, small transfers to unknown accounts, I knew something was wrong. I began quietly investigating. What I discovered shocked me. Gregory had been siphoning funds for over a year, spending lavishly on Cassandra, and planning to create a new life without me. His text showed the day after Amelia's graduation was their chosen date to start over. But I understood money trails. I remembered the prenuptial agreement signed 28 years ago, especially the fidelity clause. That agreement would become Gregory's undoing. I consulted attorneys, gathered evidence, and timed my move perfectly. After the graduation party, I didn't return to the restaurant. I went home to the house Gregory had secretly promised Cassandra. His things were packed, hiding in the closet for his escape tomorrow. I was 3 steps ahead. Messages flooded my phone from friends, Amelia, and Gregory's sister Diana. I only replied to Amelia, assuring her to enjoy her day. This wasn't her burden. A few hours later, Gregory's car screeched into the driveway. The front door slammed open as he stormed inside, his face flushed with anger, the envelope clenched tightly in his hand. "What is the meaning of this?" he demanded. "You served me divorce papers today, of all days. I thought it aligned nicely with your plans," I replied calmly. "You wanted to start a new life. I'm simply helping facilitate the transition. You had no right," he spat. "I had every right," I interrupted, my voice steady. "Just as you had every right to choose Cassandra. We all make choices, Gregory. The prenup expired years ago," he said smugly, a note of false confidence returning to his voice. I allowed myself a small smile. "Actually, it didn't. Section 12 specifically states the fidelity clause remains in effect for the duration of the marriage. Your lawyer must have forgotten to tell you." Color drained from his face as reality sank in. The prenuptial agreement he had insisted on to protect his wealth was now his undoing. "You can't do this to me," Gregory muttered, slumping onto the couch. "We built this life together," he said, "and you chose to end it. That's not how it happened," I replied. "You broke it by betraying your vows and our trust." His phone buzzed continuously in his pocket. He glanced at it but ignored the calls, likely from Cassandra. "You've always been calculating, Bianca," Gregory said bitterly. "But this is cold. Perhaps you never really knew me," I replied softly. "Just as you never really knew yourself." Our conversation was interrupted by a knock. It was Diana, Gregory's sister. She looked troubled. "Gregory," she said with a sharp glance, "I heard everything. You promised to end things with Cassandra last Christmas. You lied. This is the last straw for me," Diana said firmly, taking my side. This section continues with Gregory realizing his losses, Bianca staying with Diana, Amelia confronting her mother, the divorce battle escalating, and finally, Bianca winning in court. She starts her consultancy Caldwell, financial transitions, and rebuilds her life with Amelia's support. Gregory crumbles under betrayal and financial ruin, while Bianca grows stronger with every challenge. The consultancy, once just a fragile idea scribbled in a notebook, had grown into a thriving enterprise. My name was now tied to resilience, not to Gregory's shadow. Clients trusted me not because of what I had endured, but because of what I had built from that pain. Every workshop, every strategy session, every breakthrough for someone else became proof that healing could be transformed into power. I spoke at universities, business forums, and women's shelters. Each stage carried the same message. You are stronger than what tried to break you. The envelope still hung on my wall. The words inside, "I am free," were no longer just survival. They had become a manifesto. Freedom wasn't only about leaving Gregory behind. It was about stepping into a life where my worth was self-defined. Money flowed steadily now, but I never chased wealth for its own sake. I chased stability, empowerment, and the ability to help Amelia spread her wings without fear. We traveled together, mother and daughter, not as fugitives from heartbreak, but as explorers of possibility. On a quiet evening, sitting on a balcony overlooking the city skyline, Amelia turned to me and said, "Mom, you turned pain into power." Her words struck deeper than any applause, deeper than any financial milestone. Because in her eyes, I had given her the greatest inheritance. Courage. Gregory's memory was a distant echo. His betrayal, once the defining fracture of my life, had been reduced to a chapter important but closed. I no longer needed revenge, validation, or apologies. What I had was far greater. Peace. At speaking events, I would sometimes see women in the audience silently nodding, tears streaming down their cheeks. They didn't need to say a word. I knew their stories. Each nod was a silent contract. If she can rise, so can I. That silent bond, multiplied across hundreds, thousands, became my true empire. An empire not of money, but of impact. Amelia flourished in her studies, and I flourished in watching her grow untainted by the shadows I had once carried. The life I was living was not the life Gregory had tried to define for me. It was the life I had chosen. Brick by brick, scar by scar. The envelope on my wall eventually yellowed with age, but its power never faded. Guests often asked about it, and I would smile. "It's a promise," I'd say. "A promise that no matter what, freedom and self-worth are not negotiable." And each time I said it, I wasn't just reminding them. I was reminding myself. Because freedom is not a one-time event. It is a daily choice. A choice to rise, to rebuild, and to never let betrayal define your destiny. Looking back, I no longer mourned the life I lost. I celebrated the life I had built. Gregory's toast at Amelia's graduation had tried to shatter me. But in truth, it had awakened me. Today, I raise my own glass not in pain, but in gratitude. For every ending carries within it the seed of a beginning. And as the glass meets my lips, I whisper the words that carried me from ashes to strength. I am free. If you enjoyed this story, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to ring the bell icon so you never miss an update. Share this video with your friends and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your support means the world to us. Thank you for watching.